All right, we're live. Yay. Hello. So, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. And Kathy's visiting. Hello, listening while she preps for a meeting. Awesome. So, welcome to my friends Rebekah and Kasie. It's so awesome to have you on today. I always watch videos on your channels, so it's fun to have you on mine. And so, why don't you introduce yourself, Rebekah? Why don't you start?
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I've taught for various platforms online the last going on 6 years with VIP Kid, Tutor ABC, Bling ABC, OutSchool, all kinds of stuff. I have 2.5 little kids at home. So I've
Little
got a
more than half,
6-year-old.
right?
Right, yeah. I've got a 6-year-old, an almost 3-year-old, and I'm 36 weeks pregnant. So we're going to have another little one really soon.
Wow. So exciting. Awesome. So what do you teach most? What platform are you doing the most? Out school?
Yes, a lot more of OutSchool, but I still teach a few in the mornings to overseas students in Taiwan and China area for that ESL stuff. But most of my income comes from OutSchool.
Okay, awesome. And how about you, Kasie?
Hi, I'm Kasie. I'm a mom of two big kids, soon to be a grandma, and well, she's doing 2 weeks too, so I'm
Wow.
super excited. Mom of fur babies, and I'm a teacher, mostly helping other teachers right now, but I teach mostly on Kid Pass, but I'm kind of annoyed with them right now, so
Yeah.
so we'll
Big
see
news
what.
about Kid Pass, right?
What's that?
Big news about Kid Pass.
Yeah,
It's
the whole
interesting.
whole other whole other thing.
Yeah. So Kasie actually, and you also have a YouTube channel. Both of you have YouTube channels. And so Kasie has a lot of helpful videos on her channel for teachers and, different platforms and entrepreneur type stuff, right? I
It
like
is.
that. I love entrepreneurs.
Oh, good.
It's kind of in my blood. I love entrepreneur stuff.
Me
So,
too.
yeah, so I'm interested in all that stuff. So, and Rebekah, you have a channel too.
Yep. I have some videos on synthetic phonics and some things in the VIP Kid classroom, but I've also done some things about the parent side of OutSchool because I'm a parent over there as well. And
Mhm.
seeing that behind the scenes can help teachers out as well to go, okay, what do parents see when they see this?
Right. Yeah.
It's
Because
helpful.
so Rebekah, a lot of us are teachers and maybe our kids don't use the platforms, but Rebekah has kids that are using it. So she has both sides, like, for example, out school. So that's really helpful. I do have some grandkids that I've tried to put over to out school, and you know kids, I try to tell people it's not like going to like in 2020 people were sent home and it was like culture shock. We're in school now, we're online, and we got to be there from 8 to 3, and
Right.
it was new for everybody. But teaching, what we do online, is more interactive, and it's just a little bit of time. Like, if like, I teach knitting for 40 minutes. That's it. Once a
Nice.
week. It's not like I'm going to be online with a student for, 5 hours every day. So it's a great resource. I just actually made a video about homeschooling, and I was talking about the resources that are available for homeschoolers, which I wish it was available when my kids were younger, because I used to use Mr. Rogers a lot. I would say, "Oh,
Sesame
Mr. Rogers
Street
is on at 11
and
o'clock. 11 o'clock is my break every day."
A
yeah.
lady at the post office asked me yesterday, she's like, "You're a teacher?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Okay, can you help me with my sixth grader?" And I'm like, "Not my jam. But if you go to out school," because she said this is going to be her first time homeschooling, she's grandma.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I told her, if like you don't like teaching science, go to out school, find the class for your kid or for your granddaughter, and sign up for those specific classes that you don't want to teach or you can't teach, and just supplement that way. So she was like, "Oh, did never even heard of it." So
Yeah. Yeah,
spread the
and that's the
word.
thing. that it's just a great resource. And in our state right now, we have, this is the second year that they have an education freedom account. So you can use that money for OutSchool. You can use the money for anything education. Like if you send your kid to a private school, you could use it for that, or you can buy books with it, but you can also use it for virtual classes, which is really amazing.
That's
Wow,
cool.
that is nice.
Yeah, so that's a really good way to help, help pay for it too. So yeah, and Kasie's also doing a challenge, video challenge for some of us teachers, because I'm trying to get my subscriber count up. So I'm trying to tap into, for a long time, we were VIP kid teachers. So we all supported each other's channels and we all looked for new ideas, and, we wanted to kind of share notes with each other about our classes. So now I'm kind of looking for a new pool of people to watch my videos.
It's like, who am I? What am I niching to? What do I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
But
so I do have.
garden.
What's that?
I liked your latest videos with your new garden
I
tower.
know. It is so crazy. I've never seen one of these before. Now that I'm doing it, I'm seeing more people doing it, of course. And oh yeah, I have one of those. I haven't set it up yet. Or, I, like you said, you had always wanted to do one. I had never seen it before. So
yeah, there was a company, a lot of military families on base, the spouses stay home, so they kind of sell other things. Like there was always, every month we could count on a pampered chef, we could count on a party.
Oh yeah.
We would go to each other's parties, and there was a company, I don't remember who it was, but she sold like the tower gardens, but I couldn't get it to Germany without paying crazy money.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
but I
they
wanted
don't
it for
sell
my
them in
classroom.
Germany? Ah,
But I couldn't
yeah, it would. I've seen them in schools, businesses, because it's kind of self-sufficient. It's on a timer. So the water goes, it kind of circulates, kind of like a fish tank. And it's really amazing. But mine's outside right now. But in the winter, I'm going to bring it inside, and it has glow lights. So you can put the glow lights around. So yeah, that was kind of my thing was, I have a few vegetables, and I also this morning was out in my garden, my dirt garden, and I was just reading yesterday about these bugs that get into your squash. And lo and behold, I found some. So I was out, it said to pick them, take the leaves and put them in soapy water. So that's what I was doing. So I might make a little video about that, but that's
I love garden videos. Even though I don't have a garden, I'm always watching everybody's garden videos. I have no idea why. If it's anything homesteading, I want to see the animals, I want to see the gardens, but I don't really do much of that myself.
You don't want to do it yourself.
I live through you guys for that.
Okay.
Since you just moved to a new house, I haven't
Yeah.
started a garden yet, and it's like 105 every day here. I don't know if anything's going to grow. Super humid. So I had to leave one plant behind. I'm like, sister, please take care of this. I don't know what plant this is. It came home with my daughter, the little bean sprout bean, and it's grown to this nice big thing. Don't let it die, but it's not going to make the 4-day journey. So it's yours now.
I wonder if it's lima beans. We always did that in kindergarten.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a lima bean, but it's growing big and just keeps leaves everywhere. I'm like, I wonder if it's going to turn into something that's actually surviving. Don't kill it. And if it does, it does. It barely made the journey to her house before kind of snapping. I'm like, because I had it taped to my window because it kept falling over. So I'm like, I'm just going to tape it to the kitchen window, take it down, fall over. Yeah, we'll see if it survives. But it actually did pretty well for coming home in a little plastic baggie and sprouting in there.
Yeah, it's amazing what the seeds will do and how resilient they are. They just, I just planted some beans the other day, and they grew within 2 days. I could see green already. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so you just moved, Rebekah. How's it going?
It's good. So we moved from Idaho to Texas.
Wow.
So it took us 4 days to drive here. We booked a pod. So the pod took our stuff for us, and then we joined it a couple weeks later. So yeah, taking the 4-day journey with a 6-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and a pregnant lady. Fun. No,
Yeah.
was when my parents drove
At
down
least
with
you
us.
didn't have to do a covered wagon, though.
Right? Oh, that'd be the worst. Or a U-Haul. I mean, like, yeah, covered wagon would probably take months to get down here. Ugh.
We
Can you
read the
imagine the
stories to my
Oregon
kids,
Trail?
all the Little House on the Prairie and the
Yeah.
covered wagon stories, and
Mhm.
Yeah,
come
we
on,
had to
Rebecca, stop complaining.
really pare down our stuff. I know. So, my parents drove down with us. We had 2 cars, my husband's car and my car, and then they stayed with us for about 4 days to help with unpacking, and they flew back. And I would not have been able to unpack as much as I did without
Yeah,
their help, without them pushing
Right.
along and say, "Let's do this one today. Let's do this area today." So when they left, they said, "We're going to try to make this house feel like a home as much as we can. Do stuff that you can't do
yeah.
or you don't have the energy to do. We're going to move the heavy
Wow.
boxes in the garage. We're going to help you organize things." So they're gone now, and I have slowed down.
Your parents get
So
the parents
I
and
know
grandparent award of the
they
year.
did
Yeah.
so much.
What a gift. That is wonderful.
Yeah,
But how terrible for you to take your grandkids away from. Oh my
I know that's
goodness.
the worst
Oh,
part. It's
If
like
I
this,
were your parents, I would be
I
like
know,
looking for a place next door.
I know. This job is a great job for my husband,
That's
but the
awesome.
downside is all of our
Yeah.
family's still in Idaho.
Yeah.
So we
yeah.
are leaving family, and that's the
Yeah.
hardest part. We're leaving
That's
family, leaving friends.
yeah.
Thankfully, my oldest is going to go into first grade, so she'll make new friends. It'll be a hard transition because it's
Yeah.
hard changing schools,
Yeah.
but it'll be okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, leaving family is the sad part.
My family still holds it against me for moving overseas with the baby.
Oh, right. You did that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was 17 years overseas.
Wow.
Yeah.
But did you come home and visit a lot, or how did that go?
At least once a year for
Okay.
special occasions. We were very fortunate to be able to travel, once a year and come home and see everybody. And I learned over the years to have one big barbecue, Rebecca. So don't try to go back there and visit everybody and stress yourself
Yes,
out.
definitely.
Like one big barbecue and everybody comes to you.
Yep,
Yeah, definitely. Because
yep.
we did that when we first got married. We would come home and try to go visit everyone, and we're like,
Yeah.
we're exhausted.
Mhm. And then
Yeah,
some are like, "Why didn't you come see me? Why didn't?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"I
yeah.
can't please everybody, and if you know me, I
Right,
try." Like,
right.
oh,
Well,
right. Yeah.
thankfully, all my family lives in the same city. So if we go visit my
oh,
parents, they're all going to come to my parents' house.
okay,
But sometimes we'll have like my parents fly to us because it's cheaper to have mom and dad fly to us than
Yeah.
5 people fly to them.
yeah,
Right,
Now, for a
right.
while, the baby is going to be free, but still, it's four tickets versus 2 tickets.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
definitely.
So you worked out everything for the baby? Do you know where you're gonna be delivering or
Working
anything?
that out. I'm still waiting to hear back from Medicaid to see if I'm gonna be covered. Because Texas has a higher threshold for income than Idaho does. So whereas I didn't qualify in Idaho for pregnant ladies, I do qualify in Texas, but there's
Oh,
a
Nice.
huge, long process, and I thought I'd turn it in early enough, and it's just taking forever. So hopefully my provider gets assigned to me soon. I can see them once or twice before I give birth.
And
But
it's not like this is your first baby where it's gonna
right.
take
I
a
mean,
well,
while.
people come to Texas
realistically,
all the time to have babies, like from Mexico and stuff.
right. Realistically, you go into labor, you go in the hospital, somebody catches the baby and says, "Congrats." It might even be your doctor. The last baby I
It's
had, my
true.
doctor just got off this like 30-hour shift. So he was home sleeping. I'm glad. And so it came time to push and was like, "Hi, I'm Dr. So and so. Catch. Great. It's a girl. Bye. Bye." It's, you get what you get. So,
Yeah.
hopefully I like the provider, but yeah, I do have to go in at least 1 or 2 more times before the baby comes, but I don't know who to go to or any
Oh
of
yeah.
that. So we're in the waiting game.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. We never had a choice because on the base it was just whoever was
Oh,
on at
right.
whatever time. So your appointments you saw pretty much everybody. So it was like, I don't know who's gonna be
And
there, who's PCSing, who's moving, who's coming in. I don't know.
right,
Yeah.
and I've had a different provider with all my pregnancies because my
Oh, really?
firstborn was an Oregon baby, secondborn's an Idaho baby, now it's a Texas baby. So I'm like, and I have uncomplicated births, so I don't have to worry about scheduling extra stuff, no
Yeah.
C-sections. So mine are pretty
Right.
uncomplicated, which is good. If I had complicated stuff, I'd be like, I need to have a person. But since mine
Structure.
are like pushing here they come.
Well,
I'm a little
don't
bit more
tell too many
relaxed.
people that because you might lose friends. So
I know. It still hurts. It's still painful. I still have lots of recovery afterwards, but it's not as
well, you're such a positive person. You always take, the good side of everything. You don't complain. So I
I
give
try.
you all the, prayers, and I give you credit for doing all you're doing. And I'm sure the Lord will be with you. I consider moms heroes, and especially, the young moms today. I feel like, there's a lot. It's a heroic thing to be a mom. So I
A lot
love
of
to
work.
encourage moms and tell them how heroic they are. Even if you think you're having a bad day, my oldest daughter, she's like, the teenagers would complain about this and that and the other thing. And my oldest daughter, she now has one adopted and 3 kids of her own. And she's like, Mom, just keeping kids alive is is amazing. Thank you so much. So it really is. Some days, if their kid is just alive at the end of the day, you're doing good.
I remember calling my mom like, I am so sorry.
It's like, was I
Yeah.
this bad when I was 2?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I
my
was
mother
a
always
good
sent
kid.
me to like preschool, any activity that was available, I
Uh-huh.
was there. And
I was
I
too.
thought it was fun. I loved it, but now looking back, I'm like, okay, now I understand why.
I want my alone time.
Yeah, I was pretty much, the hands-on child. I didn't just go off on my own. High demand, busy, busy, busy.
Yeah, me
So,
too. I was busy, but I would do whatever with anybody. It didn't matter. I'd be the one talking to strangers on the side of the street, so they really had to watch me.
oh, really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, stranger danger. I was bad.
Yeah, my kids were not good about that either. They don't
No.
know. They would go because we go to church and we meet new people all the time. So
Hmm.
they would be in the grocery store going, "Hello, how are you?" Like we would at church, and I'd be like, and New England.
Hmm.
New Englanders are not like the most friendly sort. They're kind of more like, "Why are you talking to me right now?"
Funny. But we talked to everybody so bad.
That's funny.
It's a different culture over there.
Yeah, I hopped on a snowmobile with someone. I remember getting home and my parents were so mad because my sisters told on me. I just hopped on the back of a snowmobile. A guy asked me if I wanted to ride, and we
Wow.
were on these hills near my house. And I was like, okay. Oh, I got in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oops.
Yeah. I think kids are better about that now because like the public school kids are a little more afraid to talk to
Oh,
people
yeah.
because they are really drilled into them.
Yeah. And times have
So,
changed since I was a kid, too. I
yeah.
mean, we never locked our doors or anything. Never. Just
Yeah.
never worried about it.
Yeah, my son got his bike stolen a couple days
Mm.
ago, and it wasn't a good bike. Like I got it on Marketplace for, I
Mhm.
don't know, $50 or something. I mean, it was a good bike. It was actually the best bike that we have, but I didn't pay a lot for it.
Right.
And but they ride their bike to the ice cream shop where they work, and sometimes if they can't get a ride back, they just leave the bike there. And so far we've been fortunate, but the other night it got taken. So
Mm.
that was kind of a bummer. But
Yeah.
people either they can take it and they could sell it for a few dollars, or they
Mhm.
might need it, so that was kind of a bummer, but normally that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Mm.
I said, I'm glad I didn't pay a lot of money for it,
It's true.
Right.
So yeah, we'll just have to go on Marketplace and get another. My other boy got another bike for $20
Oh, wow.
the day before that. So they all have bikes, but they're not the greatest looking. But if they were better, we probably wouldn't have them. They would get stolen.
Oh,
So
that's too bad.
yeah, well, there's a lot of camps, like right where I live. There's a lot of camps, and there are some people that just wander around.
Yeah.
So you just really don't know. But anyway, so what are your goals for the future? What are you going to do for the next school year, Rebekah?
Survive.
So, because you're going to have one in school and then a toddler. Is your toddler staying home?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So baby's due in August, and then my soon to be middle child will turn 3 in September. So
Poor thing.
she'll
I'm a
stay home
middle
with me.
child.
Yeah, it's like she's going from youngest to middle, and she's super needy right now. So I pray the transition is going to work well because she wants to be in my arms all the time. And like as my belly
Um,
gets bigger, I can't hold you all the time. You have to go down, and hopefully she can share me with the baby. It wasn't this bad when I had her, and my oldest was 3.5. I think this is gonna be a harder transition. Yeah. But yeah, my oldest will be first grade, so I'll be home with a 3-year-old and a newborn trying to figure out teaching schedule.
yeah.
It's gonna take a while before the newborn has like a nap schedule,
Yeah.
but once they do, then I'll be able to figure out like a class here and a class there. When I started out school, my youngest was about 5 months old, and so she already had established a nap schedule. I knew that from this time is a morning nap and this time is afternoon nap, so I do like a half-hour class each one.
Yeah.
Then I was able to do like an hour stretch where it was like 2 classes back to back because, she was sleeping consistently. And I just made sure I nursed her and put her to bed at this time so I could teach.
Mhm.
So she had a pretty rigid schedule because I needed that.
Right.
Newborns don't have a rigid schedule for a couple of months. So it's going to be
Right.
challenging. So I might have to teach more over the weekends when my husband's home or in the evenings, or just say, cry.
Take some time
I'm
off.
almost done. Yeah.
Take
And
some time off, enjoy the baby, and
yeah, and
you're
we might
in
do
a
this
whole
tonight
new
too.
place. You got to figure out where all the stores are and
Yep.
meet new people.
Yep.
You
Met
have
some
a lot
neighbors
going
last
on.
night. So
Oh,
that's
good.
good to know that there's other kids in the neighborhood. So
Oh,
that's good.
good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, when
Aw.
my kids were little, I would go to the library, and that's where they would have like a story time and then a craft for like 45 minutes. And they did close the doors, but it was like we could hear them and everything. Maybe just
Yeah.
because parents would be distracting, like, hello, kid, kind of thing. But
We did that a lot
the
for my
parents would sit
oldest.
there and they would just chit chat. And
Mm.
I've met people that are still my friends to this day. And
Aw.
that was like almost 20 years ago. So,
That's cool. We did that a lot for my oldest. We'd have like mommy and me story times, and then she'd sit on my lap, and then afterwards we'd play with toys together. My other one never really experienced that because at about 5 months old, COVID hit and everything shut down.
Mhm.
And so we really didn't go
right.
to the library. And now when we
Yeah.
do, there's no story time. You just go and you grab your books and you leave.
Really? Oh,
So these
wow.
libraries are open now, but they have more of like online story times, which is not the same. I mean,
That's
it's
not the
fun.
same.
It's
Yeah.
fun, but it's not the same. It's just like watching a TV show to her. So
Yeah.
hopefully, as things open up more, I can take her and the baby once a week to have like song and dance and blow bubbles and play
Yeah.
with other friends and her play
Well,
with friends
maybe
is
you can
hard.
start one. You can start one yourself.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what I did once when I realized when my kids were in school way back then, and I had like a toddler, and I just had my own little story time in the house. And I had so many people, like you couldn't even find a seat. I was like, wow, I guess this was a good idea.
Yeah. Have you heard of Go Noodle?
Uh-uh.
Go Noodle is like you can do a dance party and stuff on there. So it's
Oh,
online. So anytime we had indoor recess, I would go to Go Noodle and click on their indoor recess, and it was anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes, and we would just have a dance party in the classroom.
That's
But you can have it
awesome.
at home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I teach math, and next door to me is usually a very quiet English teacher, but she was gone and they decided to use it for a music class, and they did a dance party. And I was like, can you please not? Like,
Turn it down,
we
these walls
don't
are
have
thin.
soundproof rooms, and this is a little extreme, dance party, math class.
I was in a building with just 2 classrooms. We had a portable building, and between us was all the bathrooms and 2 kitchens. But during indoor recess, her class would come over to my room or mine would go to hers. So yeah, we made it work.
Yeah, I
Well,
was like,
into recess is fine. Be as loud as you want in recess. It's recess time. But if
Yeah.
there's like a math test going on, it's like,
yeah,
like, you don't
exactly.
know.
And
You're
you
thinking,
know,
oh,
just
this room's isolated, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, and this little bit of noise is and you know, my math kids would totally love a dance party.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know, all the other teachers have dance parties. I have to be the practical one. So, but yeah, that sounds like fun. So what are your goals for next year, Kasie?
I'm going to be a grandma next year. Like this month, starting this month or next month, whenever she has a baby, I am just focusing on family, and we're going to have 5 generations. So I've already booked like a photographer to go back to Boston and take
Wow.
family pictures. And I just feel like this is the year where I'm just going to travel and see everybody and
Oh, great.
just, yeah. So,
Oh, good.
no, that's my
Awesome. So you're
goal.
going to keep up with the mastermind class, or are you going to take a break from that?
Yeah, no, I'll probably keep up with that and keep that group going. I have a course that's coming out, so I'm hoping that that'll be my big thing this year
Okay.
into next year. So,
Okay. What's the name of your course? Do a little
teacher shift.
advertisement.
It's just a teacher shift. So basically, it's teachers either shifting from classroom to online or online to independent teaching. So it's
Yeah.
already done and made. I just have to
Okay.
get out there and
So
talk
what
about
is
it.
the focus? The focus is on the transition itself, or are you going to show people how to make that transition?
Yeah, it's step by step of going from classroom or online to independent. So how to market, how to find their search engines,
Awesome.
how to optimize their marketing and things like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Great. So when is that coming out? Tell us the
It's
details.
already out. I just haven't talked
Okay.
about it because that's my thing that I get nervous about.
Okay. Well, this is
So
your chance to meet some new people because I have like over 600 viewers on this channel.
that's awesome. I guess the biggest part is basically using YouTube and how you can use it to find potential clients, but
Okay.
how, like, what we are worth rather than
Yeah.
charging $2 and $3, showing our worth and why parents should pay us more and why we don't have to go to other platforms.
Okay.
So
Awesome. So how much is it? Is that out too? I just haven't seen this information.
it is, but I just keep constantly changing it because I just have trouble charging. But I know I need to since
And
it's
you're just telling
I
us that we're supposed to put out what we're worth, and then you're not doing it.
My mama always said, "Do as I say, not as I do."
Well, the thing about it is, I know I like Online Teacher Dude. Like he started out with his course being really low, and
Yeah.
then as he got experience and got people that
Mhm.
would, you know, support him or give reviews, then he kind of kept. I think he's upped it like 3 times,
Mhm. Yeah.
and each time he's gotten a good number of, you know, what do you call it? Customers or
Yeah. He's
students.
definitely business savvy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's taken some of the same courses I have in the past too.
Right. Right. And so that's what you need to look at as far as, you know, do you have experience? Now, I'm looking at there are a lot of people that do have experience, but they don't always streamline it into a course. Like you might
Mhm.
think, hey, I know people who know more than me, but hey, they're not making that course. So you're
Mhm.
like the one doing it. So it's a valuable thing. And I
Yeah.
think that online teaching is really important right now because independent, you know, and parents are going to start looking for that. And I'm
Yeah.
going to start talking about that more on my channel as well. And
Yeah.
that's what we can do as teachers and YouTubers is
It's
kind of support each other.
it's definitely a shift. It's a process. But
Yeah.
I really think that's where a lot of it is heading. And my research lately has been all about what teachers are going through, either in the classroom or just what they're going through right now, because it's been so different. The kindergarten today has changed so much from back when I started, and even from before I started. It used to be a lot of play based and things like that, and it's not. It's data. Take this data,
Yeah.
and I Yeah, I won't get on my soapbox right now, but a
Yeah.
lot of teachers are
And
leaving teaching.
yeah, it's hard because a lot of people are leaving a lot of things. I know in our area, even bus drivers.
Yeah.
We have a shortage of bus drivers. It's a
Mhm.
huge problem all across the country, I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we don't even have enough bus drivers for all the buses that we can actually even pay for. Like we have the money for it, but we
Mhm.
can't even find the people to drive the buses.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of different jobs are just like there's a shortage of so many things.
Why are they leaving? Is it the kids? Is it the district? Why do you
Um,
think they're leaving?
I'm
Money.
not exactly sure because, that's what I'm saying. Where are they?
Yeah. I just was wondering if it was like the kids, because I know there's this new group of parents. I'm not saying all of the young parents out there are this, but it went from you can do anything you want to be, just work hard, to helicopter parents. But now we
Yeah.
have these lawnmower parents where they're trying to mow everything in front of their kids, and the kids aren't learning how to problem solve and things like that. And I just wondered if bus drivers are like, forget this, I'm out.
I don't think it's really as much the kids as it is the job itself. Like,
Mm.
there are a lot of people that can't live on a part-time job. That's basically a
True.
part-time job.
Yeah.
And there's also in our state, there's a lot about the mandate, and I think a lot of companies are backing off. But if you're doing anything in the government right now, people are just leaving their jobs because they're like, I'm not going to submit to that. So there's that going on. I really don't think it's the kids themselves, because I just don't really hear that right
Yeah.
now.
That's what I was wondering, because I remember when
It's
I was
more
a
like
kid
the
on those
red tape.
buses.
Yeah, but it's like my husband, I'm like, you should start a bus company right now because, but no matter who you are, no matter what the company is, there's a shortage of bus drivers. So it doesn't matter what your intentions are. If you say,
Yeah.
hey, I want bus drivers, you're not going to find them.
Wow.
So they're even offering money incentives, but not enough.
I wonder if all this working remotely the last couple of years has shown people that I'm worth more than a minimum wage job. And so they
Right.
don't want to
Yeah.
go back to being a bus driver or a grocery store clerk or a fast food worker because like, oh, I make more money online. So everybody stays at home, and then there's nobody to do these jobs that we need people to do,
Mhm.
Right.
to work in
Right.
the restaurants, to work in the stores, to
Right.
work in the schools. We don't have people because they're all still online.
Yeah.
Right. And they're waiting for, their big break. They want a good paying job. Like still bus driver is part-time. I don't know how many hours it actually. People that drive buses for like special needs kids, they get paid really good money. And they might drive one or two kids, But people driving an entire group of kids part-time gets paid less. So it's just a crazy world right now. We do have to figure this thing out. So I don't know what the answer is. We can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
Yeah,
if you have to go, feel free.
I have to go watch my puppies. I have two sick puppies with
Aw.
totally different issues, and my husband, he didn't leave for work just so I could come and stay and say hi to you guys.
Wow.
So he
Tell him
just
thank
messaged me.
you.
So I was like,
Wow. And at least you got to share all about your course. So we'll be
oh,
looking out for
thank you for
that.
that. I appreciate it. Not my intention, but I appreciate you letting me do that. So
Of course. You helped
thank
me a
you guys.
lot. So,
All right, I'll see you
yeah.
guys all soon.
All right. Thank you for
Bye,
coming.
Kasie.
So Kathy says there's a shortage of workers everywhere. So many people have learned to do gig jobs online. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Even people like buying stuff and selling it, or I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know exactly what
The
everything
thing is about part-time and gig jobs is they don't have insurance, but there's not
Right.
a whole lot of jobs out there that offer full-time with benefits. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I could do
But
this job or I could do this job.
benefits are horrible. Benefits are horrible right now. We pay
Right.
tons of money for benefits, and to do anything it costs you even more money. It's just ridiculous. Because you have insurance, you actually pay more money out of pocket.
Sometimes.
The whole thing is just
It's
completely a
ridiculous.
disaster.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for doctors and nurses getting paid and everything. I have no problem with that, but something is wrong when it is the way it is right now.
Right. I think they're so expensive. Go
Yeah.
in to see, the OB. They measure your belly. They say, "How you doing?" Measure the heartbeat. Great. 5 minutes later, you go and $200.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. It's true. For
If you're
their
getting other tests
expertise,
done.
yeah, I
Yeah.
get that, but like insurance right now is more like if something really bad
Yeah.
happens
You
that
want to make
you're
sure you're
not going
covered.
to
Yeah.
lose, your life because of it. They'll kick in at some point, but
Right.
it's just, yeah, and that's why I'm glad that I can pray, because praying gets me through a lot these days.
Yep.
But I mean, as far as the buses in town, I know some people rely on it, because they might leave early for work or, different reasons they have to utilize the bus. But if it were me, I'd be like, I'd drive my kid myself. I never really liked the bus personally, even when I was a kid. So I suggested that, but it is it's part of the public school system to offer transportation.
Yeah. And some people need
So
it. When
yeah,
I was in middle school, my school was 5 miles away. If
yeah,
I missed my bus, I'm late.
yeah.
Because if I had to bike, I had to leave before the bus came to get there on time because
Right,
it's five
right,
miles.
right,
And so sometimes my dad would take me, but it's in the opposite direction as his work. So then he'd be
right,
late to work. So
right,
not everybody can afford to drive their kids to school depending on
right.
when they have to go and where they have to go. So I made my
Exactly.
best to not miss the bus, but as a sixth grader, seventh grader, it did happen on occasion.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad.
And the thing is, some kids, if their parents have to leave early, they wouldn't mind not going to school.
Right. I mean,
So
if
having a
you
bus going by is helpful for
Yeah,
everyone.
if you're on your own
Yeah.
a little bit,
Oh my
then we might have to take the bus afterwards.
Right. Right. So yeah. That person, that hacker or whatever it is,
Yes.
came to my channel before.
Gone. Goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye. So, well, I really appreciate you coming on, and I'm looking forward to some videos about, the new move, things that you
Yep.
learn. But
Settling
I
in.
I hope you can take a break a little bit, and your husband's got a job and
Yep. Yep. And
everything's,
try to go slow a little bit. Now, when I was pregnant with my second born, we were able to save up a lot of money so I could take some maternity leave off. Well, this year, all that saved money went towards the move.
right,
So,
right.
we have a little bit saved up, but not as much as I had hoped to save up for taking like a couple months off. So
Yeah.
we're going to figure out, readjust just a little bit of how
Okay.
to finagle it because moving is very expensive.
Yeah, that is very
Especially an
true.
out-of-state move. I mean, if you move from house to house, you hire friends, hire, pickup
Right.
trucks and just move it. But when you're moving 1,700 miles and you rent a pod, even though that is cheaper than getting a moving company, it still takes a couple $1,000s. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
But
lot. And I haven't done it. I have moved before when we were younger, but we haven't moved from here in over 20 years. So I'm sure the
yeah,
prices of everything are gone up.
this is the biggest move we've ever done. I think before this, we moved from Oregon to Idaho. So it was like an 8-hour drive. Well, this is like a 26-hour drive. So it's a lot more miles
Yeah.
and it's
And
a
it's
lot
a
more
whole
stuff
new
goes into it.
world, I'm sure. It's a whole different.
It is. Been
Yeah.
out and about a little bit to go to thrift stores to buy new furniture and see things. I love my GPS because I get so lost without it. So
Oh yeah,
lost.
definitely.
Soon I'll be able to know like different routes without the GPS, but right now I am relying on my phone and Google Maps so much just to
Yeah.
get from one place to the next place.
Right.
Uh,
Now where you live now, I'm not familiar with the geography that well. Do they get snow there? Does it get cold? You
Not
said
not too much. It's
not
mostly like
too
a
much.
hot desert. I think
Ah,
looking
nice.
at different websites, I think the lowest is like 40s,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
30s. There are signs on the freeway saying that the bridge has ice, so be careful. So I think at some point in the wintertime there will be some ice, but it won't be like heavy snows. I think it's one of those places that we see snow flurries. It's a snow day, no school. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
saw snow, like it's not even
yeah,
sticking yet. Okay, sure. I
yeah.
mean, Idaho, it's like you only cancel school if it's not safe for the bus drivers to drive. Like if it's
Right,
physically not safe for cars, then you cancel. But
right.
it's not the freak out. So I'm guessing this place is gonna be more the freak out because we're in
Yeah.
southern Texas. We're about 2 hours away from the beach, the southern beach. So
Okay, wow.
uh, we might just freak out a little bit going, ah, snow. Okay,
Wow.
so
So what is your husband gonna teach?
This year he's going to be an apprentice teacher for a fifth grade classroom, and then
Okay.
that'll hopefully move on to becoming a lead teacher. It's at a classical charter school,
Okay.
so it's a way to kind of get used to the charter school that and the classical feel for it before
Okay.
jumping in as being I'm the main teacher.
Awesome. Awesome.
So they do
Yeah.
a really good job at mentorship and help
Okay.
like raise good teachers.
Great. What's the name of the school?
It's called Great Hearts Charter School. They
Okay.
have several locations in San Antonio and Houston and some in Arizona, and they just opened one in Louisiana. So it's this
Cool.
whole like group of
Yeah.
Great Hearts Charter School.
Cool.
So he's at one campus, but sometimes they
Okay.
steal to another campus, like we like you, and so there's a lot of little transfers. So
Okay.
hopefully, I mean, there's 7 of them in our city, so hopefully, like
Yeah.
next year we can stay in the same city at least.
Yeah. Okay.
Preferably the
Cool.
one that he's at now because it's the closest one to our house. Um, but
Yeah.
what's nice is that my daughter gets to go to that school for free.
Yeah.
It's a charter
Oh,
school, so it's a
cool.
lottery
Ah,
process.
okay.
But if you are an employee's kid, you get first dibs in the lottery. If you're a sibling of an existing student, you get second dibs, and then it's the lottery for anybody new coming in. So
Wow.
she's guaranteed a spot. All of our kids are guaranteed a spot at that nice charter school.
Cool. That is really
Yeah.
amazing. How long has that been in existence? Do you know?
Um, the Great Heart Charter Schools, maybe about 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
So a lot of them, when they started, they're like K through 6 or K through 8, and they added 1 year for every year
Okay.
that they're there. So the one that my husband can teach at is a K-12 school. They've been there
Mhm.
long enough to
Okay.
have all of them, but some of them are still K-8 and then K-9 and then K-10. So each cohort will just add, a grade.
Very cool. So how did he hear about this?
Different job fairs and,
Okay.
online looking around. They actually contacted him, and so we're like, "Okay, this isn't what we were expecting for a job for him, but I think it'll be really good for him." And,
Yeah.
it's definitely a culture shock to go to, like, a classical trained school.
Yeah.
It's very, rigid and strict and kinda like a private school, but
Yeah.
not like a Christian religious school. It's more of like Princess Diaries private school is what I'm
Yeah.
imagining, school
Academic
uniforms, very
and
academic. Yeah, yeah. So when I see the school uniforms, I think of,
structured.
Princess Diaries
Yeah.
and, her school. So that's, you
Yeah.
know, my little girl's gonna be in a little plaid jumper and
Okay.
you know,
Cool.
the school uniforms. So this could be kind of fun, but it's gonna be a culture shock to her. Because in
Yeah.
kindergarten, it was a little bit more play based. She did
Yeah.
learn how to read and write and all that stuff, but it had more of the free time and exploring. And this one's going to be, it's first grade now. So it's going to be a lot more
Yeah.
academic. There will be some play involved, but even still, it's first grade. It's not kindergarten anymore.
Yeah.
But hopefully she makes the transition pretty well. But it's going to be a little bit of a culture shock to her, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she'll do really well. She's
Yeah.
a really sweet kid. So that's really cool. My kids have gone to schools where you wear a uniform. It's kind of nice because then you actually know what they're going to wear every day,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I didn't really mind it. I only minded it when they got a little too strict on, you know, the picky little things. That kind of wasn't very fun, but now they go to a school, it's a Christian private school, but they can wear what they want. And I feel like I didn't know if I would like it or not, but I kind of like it in the sense that it's more relaxed, as far as we don't have to worry about, monitoring every little stitch of their clothing and stuff.
Right. Last year we had a little bit of that where she had to wear the school T-shirt, but
Okay.
over whatever she wanted to wear. So she could wear
Oh,
whatever kind of
cool.
pants she wanted
Okay.
to wear just with the school T-shirt or the school dress. It was like half uniforms, but it was relaxed. This was very strict uniforms down to like the color of the shoes and the
Oh,
no nail polish and like
okay.
strict on everything. And so I as the mom have to make sure that she has a separate section in her closet for uniforms. She wears that to school, comes home out of it. Let's wear
Yep,
play
yep,
clothes to keep them clean because
yep.
I don't even know how many to buy. Like, how many do you buy for a week in case she gets it dirty?
Right,
So like we have her play clothes, and then we wear the same clothes or similar clothes the next day.
right.
And like, when do I wash? Do I, I need more than just one outfit, so I have to probably like three or
Yeah,
four outfits worth, so that she can get it a little bit dirty playing at recess, and then
right, right. And that, you might find people like once you get started, there might be people that, especially at first grade, that their kid has grown out of something. And
yeah,
then
some like hand me downs.
that's what the very first time I went to a Christian school, I found out like the day before they're starting the teacher service and they did uniforms. And they're like, over in that bin, we have somebody dropped off their uniforms and you can look in there. My kids wore everything that was in that bin because then we had to buy, notebooks and all their school supplies, all their
Yeah,
shoes and all that kind of stuff. That saved us a lot of money. I had 7 kids at that time going to
yeah.
school with us. So it was like buying
He's like, "Thank
uniforms.
you." Yeah, I know when we moved from Idaho, we kept one of her T-shirts as like a keepsake, but we gave the rest of her school T-shirts to another family with kids
Oh,
who would
cool.
grow into them. Like, yeah, we don't need to have 7 shirts for this school. We'll keep
Yeah.
one as a fun keepsake, as a fun memory,
Yeah, yeah,
our
yeah.
favorite one, and
Yeah.
then pass on the rest so that they
Yeah.
can enjoy it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. I'm sure she's going to do great. And hopefully, you've been the mom of kids and your husband's been kind of going to school, right? I mean,
Mhm.
did he graduate in 2020, was it? Or
Uh,
2021?
yeah, 2020, yeah, it's like that. His student teaching year was half online, half in person. So I think it was
Oh, wow.
2021. So that
Okay.
was a very interesting student teaching semester where
Yeah.
the whole transition to now they can meet in person. So he was able to teach a little bit in person, but the kids were being
Okay.
unruly because they've been
Oh,
stuck
they
online
weren't
for
used
so
to it.
long. And yeah. So this is gonna be his first time in like a full-on classroom with full-time in-school kids because we've had 2 years of just transition
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody's adjusting. And the thing that I found as a teacher is like the kids lost a lot, intellectually, even classroom skills and things like that.
Hmm.
So kind of working our way back into what is school? What is school? How am I supposed to behave? What am I supposed to learn? How do I know?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
he sent me a slide yesterday. He's been in teacher training all this week. He sent me a slide yesterday that showed like where the students were, and then there's a COVID slide, and
oh,
then they're all
wow.
coming up. But schools that
Yeah.
has like public schools and it has the Great Heart School. So even though they both slid, the Great Hearts did not slide as much because they started at
Yeah.
such a high level. So then the slide went down a little bit, but there was still a
Right.
COVID slide
Yeah.
for a while. Then they were
Yeah.
all trying to catch up from there, which is it's taking time to get back
Yeah.
up to where we were.
Definitely.
So yeah,
I don't
COVID's still
know.
a big old
Sometimes
thing.
they say that this group may not catch up unless they're really intentional.
Yeah, at
So
least we're
that's
all
why
in it
in my,
together. It's not
yeah,
like, 1 or 2 students who missed a semester
right.
of school
That's
and then
right.
they're
Yeah.
playing catch up or being held behind a
Yeah.
year. It's
It's
we're all
true.
struggling. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
all the teachers have to adapt to go, okay,
Yeah.
where my 8th graders were last year are not where they are this year. Let's get them up a little bit.
Yeah.
And we might only get to, the end of 7th grade level by the end of 8th grade. And that's okay. Like we're all in this together.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And, 5th grade isn't a bad grade to be working in.
No.
I found, because I taught math 5th grade and up, and I found the 5th graders were good, the 6th graders were pretty good. It was the ones that were last year were 7th and up that really were affected a lot. But the younger kids, they're kind of resilient. and they kind of jump in and they kind of catch up easier. But the junior high years are tough years to miss.
Yeah, and like 5th grade still that sweet year where they wanna become adults, but they also wanna
Mhm.
please the teacher,
Yeah,
and so the kinda sweet spot. You get to middle school, high school, it's like, "I'm the boss, I know more than you, teacher," and you're like, "Whoa," you have to be that strong teacher who can stand up to these very
yeah,
strong
yeah,
teenagers.
yeah. It's
So,
true.
it's
Yeah,
just a different kind of person to to teach the kindergartners and then to teach the high schoolers.
yeah,
I'm more of the
yeah,
kindergarten teacher. High school scare me. He's more of the middle school, high school. He loves having these deep discussions, and I'm like,
yeah,
"Great."
yeah. And we need those. We
We
need
do.
people
Yep,
like that are patient to
yep. I need
listen,
both.
even though what they're hearing is a
Mm.
little off. But yeah, it's interesting because I've got actually uh my youngest seven were all affected because my daughter was getting married and she had to switch her marriage,
Mm.
several times, lost money making plane tickets, and then they wouldn't give her money back and things like that. My next boy down had to come home from college, never went back to college. He just got married this past summer. And then the next kid down, he same thing. He went to college and he had to come home, and it's just so heartbreaking. And then my daughter, she actually graduated a year early from high school, but she was helping out with the little kids, in the school. I think that affected her the most was like, I'm not going to be able to say goodbye to all my little
Mm.
friends, and that was,
Goes shut down
as a
so
mom,
quickly.
it's so heartbreaking to see what these kids have gone through. And, you know, we just sit there and go, oh, well, they're in this grade. And you just keep, like, as adults, we just we remember what was normal, but we forget, sometimes what they've been through. I myself, as a teacher, I always have to, like this last year, I mean, I pushed to try and get them to catch up, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, be a little bit realistic as far as where they're at, what they've been through, that kind of thing. So I hope we get back on track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it doesn't affect them after they graduate high school and they go off to do jobs, and what
right,
kind of jobs are they gonna do? Are they gonna do the gig jobs? Are they gonna do the minimum wage jobs? Or, there's so many choices out there right now.
right. And the trade schools. I mean, my youngest three, I'm kind of trying to point them to the trade schools
Mhm.
because those are the types of jobs that are going to keep going.
Yep.
Everybody needs plumbing. Everybody needs,
Builders.
wiring of some sort.
Yeah.
So,
Mechanics. 'Cause we
yeah.
all have cars.
Right, right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but this year is going to be hopefully a good year because they're all going to the same school they went to last year and
That's
they know the
nice.
kids. And I have to actually pick up one of my kids that he went to camp this past week, my youngest. So hopefully, I'm sure he had a good time. He probably won't want to come home, but no choice.
Right.
So, yeah, well, thank you so much for coming, and I
You're
really appreciate it.
welcome.
It's good to talk with you one-on-one, and
Yes.
yeah, we got to do a camp what was it? Like craft classes,
Mhm.
art connection
Yeah.
throughout school. That was a lot of fun in June.
That was fun.
So, that was a really good boost, I think, probably to your income, right?
Yep, that was definitely helpful.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that again. I mean,
I think
it
it'd be
was
great. It's
all
a good
new,
good
but it
pilot
was it
program.
was interesting.
Yeah.
So, thank you for Kathy for coming.
Yes,
And
thank
I did
you.
a really good interview with her yesterday. She works for Outschool and All School. That was really fun. Thank you for
Fun.
coming, and it's good to see you. And hopefully we can stay connected with our teacher friends. Just keep reaching out. So
Yep.
I guess I'm going to call it a day, and I hope you have a great day and
Thank you.
enjoy your new surroundings and don't do too much. That's my
Agreed.
advice to you.
Agreed.
Don't feel guilty if you have to sit around. And when I was in your situation, we played sick lady a lot. I would lay on the couch and I would just have my kids bring me stuff and just make it a game out of it because I'm sick lady. You're going to bring me water. You're going to bring me a piece of toast and see how long we can make this last.
So I'm making little piles of, this is a heavy box because the garage. We're going to shove it with my foot. Okay, close enough. Wait till husband comes home and he takes it to the garage.
Yeah,
Like, if
I
I could just
found my
make
kids.
piles.
What I would do is, like, if the kids played with toys and I had to pick them up, I would kick them all into a circle and then pick them all up at the same time, so I didn't have to bend over 5 times.
Right.
So I saw my kids doing that too. Like,
Smart.
notice how many times your kids copy you when you're
Right.
only doing it because you don't want to bend over.
Right.
That was funny. I'm like, you can bend over. You know, you're not pregnant.
Like, but mommy's got a smart way of doing it. I like that.
Yeah. It works though. All right, great. All right, we'll see you around then. Thank you,
See you
Rebekah.
later.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Bye.